this computer. Okay. Hello, Sat Sri Akal, good morning, Adab, and whatever else. Vanakkam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have been off air for about 3 weeks and more, for good reason. Because although we were told by our medical consultants that COVID doesn't spread through the internet, we didn't want to take a chance, right, Bala?
Exactly. Both of us were laid. I mean, both live in different cities, but still, as coincidence would have it, both were laid low by COVID-19.
So, which is why we didn't come on air, because we thought that maybe I spread it to Bala me sitting in Bangalore, spread it to Bala sitting in Chennai through the internet. So we said, let us not do this. Yeah, jokes apart, we are here, we are back again, and all good. And there were some inquiries on our social media handles. So thanks a lot for you guys for sort of reaching out and checking up. I think that is one of the things which I learned in this pandemic, that you need to check up on people. We just need to sort of send a message and see how things are, because you don't know. Many people don't respond. When you assume that everything is okay because there is no response, I don't think that's a good idea. So Bala, from that point, let me ask you one question first. We can sort of banter around this. What was your journey through COVID?
See, it's a mixed bag, Raj. I mean, good that you brought up the point about people checking, because I haven't checked on my social media handles as such, because I have not gone into that. But I do know that a few people have also reached out to me, not just on social media handles, on my WhatsApp account also. So, but to some of them I have been able to respond. To many of them I have not been able to. But the point about you people check, because the one thing that I learned during this COVID is, I mean, humanity is not actually dead. A lot of good people are doing a lot of good work, unsaid, unsung, and they have been doing that. I have been able to see it at a personal level. I mean, I was laid low with COVID. I had some physical difficulties and everything, but it wasn't much. But I mean, in comparison to what others have been going through. And when I see around, I see a lot of people doing a lot of good work just out of their own volition, just to be kind and just being humane. So that was very reassuring, because we see a lot of bad things, a lot of outrage, which is much of it is understandable, because again, see, the government is doing its bit, but a lot of it is not enough.
Yeah, we'll keep that to others. We'll just go with our personal experience. I mean,
exactly.
We'll
I mean,
talk about,
just a line about it, a line about it, because I can understand the outrage, because that's understandable. But a lot of personal good things, a lot of I can see youngsters, I mean, 25 thing step. I mean, they can't contribute monetarily to a lot of things that are happening, but they are chipping with physical work. I know a lot of cases. I mean, if I get down to all those things, it will be too elaborate. But it was reassuring from that.
No, we will get down to that in a separate show, because I want to talk about the COVID warriors in a separate show. So I'm here. See, here I'm just talking about how we went through COVID, because there could be lessons, there could be answers, maybe questions to people who end up watching our show. That is the reason why I'm saying let us just go with what we had. I can share what happened to me, because
to start off, you can, yes, Raj,
so
because
for me,
how was your day like and what you went through?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I went for my first vaccination, and everything was fine. I had, symptoms for a day or two, everything went fine. And then suddenly, after about 6 or 7 days, I started developing very solid symptoms of COVID, which includes fever, throat ache, and cough. As I was going through, when I said, let me do a test, COVID, RT-PCR, and the other two tests, whatever test that is. So I gave the test, and by that time I realized that yes, the symptoms were getting stronger, because I lost sense of smell and sense of taste, which is very tough for me, the latter part, because you can't eat anything. So I went in, I connected with a medical practitioner. Luckily, I got somebody from the Indian Army who through courtesy, my son-in-law, who was in the army, and she prescribed the medicines, and me and my son, both of us being here, we started taking it. And I was declared positive. My son was declared iffy, I mean, as always. They said, you know what, we don't have enough information to say you're positive or negative. You're somewhere in the middle. Which was fine. So I just cut myself off from the outside world in a way. I just sort of stayed at home, didn't speak to anybody, because the throat was paining. And the more you
Yeah.
speak, when people call you and ask you how you are, I mean, they are doing something very good from their point of view. What they sometimes miss out is that you need to say how you are. And
Yeah,
that
because
is
I
an
remember
extra.
your WhatsApp messages. You said you are
I was
literally
totally,
very hoarse.
yes. So I was totally off speaking to people. So it was, I mean, communication was WhatsApp. And so that happened. And then I started a routine which sort of, I guess, helped me. My routine was very simple. I would wake up in the morning and I do 2 pranayama exercises. One was called, what is it? Brahmari, which is where you make a sound like a bee. And the second was the easy one. I mean, which was just sort of breathing deep, which is Bhastrika, and Anulom Vilom after it, so that Anulom Vilom tends to sort of cool your body down. Since the fever was there, I sort of tried that.
Just a minute, just a second, because you also suggested the pranayama to me, and I tried it, and it worked for me, Raj, and it was mighty helpful.
So I'm still doing it. Because see, one of the things I realized was in the rough and tumble of our life, we forgot to breathe the way we need to breathe, the way civilization breathed. See, the animals, they whatever happens, they breathe the way they breathe. If you notice, you have a dog in your house, you have a pet in your house, you notice how they breathe. In our case, we were so worried that the breath became unnatural. So I did that, and I also was advised to take a CT scan of my chest to see whether the lungs had been infected, and there was a slight infection there. However, the medicines, and I believe this exercise, helped me go out. So there was a situation where I couldn't breathe in to my capacity. But today I feel extremely comfortable. So that happened. I was taking a good food, and like Bala said, I'll bring that thing up again, Bala. In Bangalore, like in Chennai and other cities, there are these good Samaritans who are actually getting food cooked and delivering it to people who cannot sort of put that effort in.
Exactly. I get
that effort. And this is home cooked food, simple home cooked food. They were taking care of the nutrition, 2-3 meals a day. And initially they were delivering, but when the lockdown happened, then you had to rely on Dunzo to go and pick it up. So that was the only payment you were making. So what am I saying? I'm saying we didn't make any payment for the food we ate for 8 days. So now what I'm doing is, I'm contributing. I'm saying carry forward. I'm contributing and saying, okay, you gave it to me free. Now this is my contribution, and give it to somebody else free.
Yeah, it's your turn to give it back to what you got.
Yes. So that is the way. And so the same routine persisted, and within the prescribed time, I was out of it. I had fever for a day or two, but then that also subsided, and I was out of it. Today, yes, everything is fine. There is a certain sense of fatigue, which I was told by the medical practitioners, that will last for a little bit of time.
Yeah,
so that
seems to be par for the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just quickly run through what happened to me, because I fell ill. Straight away I fell ill. I had high fever touching 1 or 3 degrees, and I had fever for 3 days, and it was excruciating. Those 3 days were really tough, because as you said, throat was going hoarse and body pain all over and fatigue. I couldn't even go to my bathroom and everything. But when I checked, when I tested, gave my the thing for the test, strangely, there was no COVID at that time. And after 3 days, I took my paracetamol as my doctor suggested. We had a telemedicine doctor who was pretty helpful, who went through it meticulously. And I came out of the fever, and in 2 or 3 days, I was back on my feet, technically, in a manner of speaking. And at the time, my wife had also fallen sick. So both of us gave another test. But at the time, it turned out positive when I was actually feeling well. Now I'm technically till May 31st, I'm in quarantine, Raj.
Yeah.
So, but without much physical discomfort, because I can move around within my house. That's about it. I've not stepped out. The last 15 days, I've not stepped out. But it's one of those things. But whatever you said actually worked for me, because you were the ones who suggested to me those pranayama, and it helped. So those little personal tricks that you have it, people go out and do it.
It's not my trick. It's not my trick. I need to give credit where it is due. It actually belongs to Renuka, who happens to be my daughter.
I'm just suggesting whatever personal tricks that people have for their own bodies,
Yes. So you need to listen to your body. I think, Bala, you brought up
Exactly.
a fantastic point. You need to listen to your body because your body is giving you signals. So in my
Signals.
case, the signal was get your bum back to bed. You are not doing anything else. So I just was, and I was off. So, I mean, you and I, we discuss movies a lot. I was off movies. I was not watching anything. I was giving complete rest to my body. Complete as in complete rest. It was basically eating, sleeping, waking up, going to the toilet, eating, sleeping. When basically this was the routine.
You're
Nothing
back to
else.
your journalism days, right, Raj?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. No, no, you're right. So there it was. I mean, yeah. So it reminded me of my old days. So and it worked well. So for me, I think that is the most important thing. You listen to your body and figure out how it is responding and what is happening. So in my case, when the fever, like Bala, you said your fever was 103, mine never went above 102.12 like that. So when the fever wasn't subsiding, I spoke to the doctor. She said, you know what, there is, I mean, if you are consuming paracetamol or Dolo 650 in whatever form, you usually take it either thrice a day, I mean, every 8 hours or every 6 hours, depending upon how severe the fever is. So the doctor, who's an army officer, I mean, senior army officer, she just said, you know what, take it when you feel feverish. Don't, I mean, if you're feverish, just take the medicine. And believe me, 24 hours, it was out. So we also need to accept what the doctors are saying. So one of the things which I would humbly suggest here is the doctors follow a protocol, assuming they do. There are doctors who do not. We are not going into the exceptions here. We are going into the rule. There is a protocol. So they need to take treatment step by step. They need to first figure out what is happening, look at the treatment, and you need to be patient.
One step at a time.
At a time. So they are taking that one step at a time. You need to match those steps. You can't jump up and say, oh, you know what, I'm feeling like Bala, you said, you are feeling pain was excruciating, this thing. You can't go to the hospital directly. There's no need to do that.
Exactly. See, when you brought an important point, because when my fever was at 103, the doctor said you're just one phone call away being admitted. We'll just wait for 6 hours. If it doesn't subside, because it was for 3 days, it was around 102 and 103. So he gave me an ultimatum for 6 hours. If I had not passed that 6 hours, I would have been in the hospital bed. I mean, assuming that I managed to find one. I don't know whether I would have. But luckily, at that last 6 hours, which the doctor gave, my fever actually came down. That was kind of helpful.
Yeah. So that, no, the point is that you need to wait. See, and then Bala,
Exactly.
I think this also brings up another interesting point. Because if there is a sense of fear that is there, I mean, you're fearing that, you know what, so now the doctor has said within 6 hours, if this doesn't go, you will be in a hospital. And then you have, oh my God, will I get a hospital bed? If these things are running in your brain, the chances are that your body will react in a different way.
Yeah. See, you must never give it up in your mind. As long as if you are strong in your body kind of copes up with your mind, and it kind of restores balance. So it's a very simple thing, and it might look very silly also, because when you're actually suffering, how do you explain that? How do you tell people to feel up? But actually, if you feel up, these things work.
See, there are scientific experiments done. There are I mean, there is fantastic research available. I mean, one of the things I'll say is that if you want to look up, you look up a gentleman called Norman Cousins, who happens to be a publisher. We were not publishers, but in the media line. He actually wrote a book where he cured himself of a deadly disease by taking vitamin C. And it is a published book.
And there are many such stories, Raj. I mean, at the end of the day, it's simple. Mind over matter is not a small, ordinary cliche. It's a truism of life.
Yes. So in my mind, I said, the way I saw this was, you know what, this is a virus, which is not even a live organism. It is actually a protein wrapped in a fat globule. That's it. So what's the big deal? What can it do to me? Nothing. So that is the way I saw it. And I insisted that people were not giving me advice, which is why I cut off the phone. So that is one of the things, because unsolicited advice comes from every quarter.
Exactly. Sometimes well-meaning, well-intentioned.
Always well-meaning. Always well-meaning. I'd have no doubt that the person giving the advice has some ill will towards you. It is always well-meaning. And the point is, it is unsolicited, because you have a doctor. You have a doctor who is doing this.
Stick to him or her.
Yeah, her. That's all. Stick to the doctor's advice. Take it from there. I think that is one of the lessons which I learned in this
And just one clarification, we are not belittling the sufferings that people are going through because of COVID. We are just sharing what we underwent.
Yeah.
So we are not underplaying what people are suffering. Because our heart goes out to them, and whatever little that we can do for their, to help, we are doing it at a personal level. That's a different story. But this is what we underwent. So some of the things that it worked for us. So we are just sharing it. Whether it works for you or not, you have to.
You need to figure that out. You are right. You are right. You need to figure that out. This is like cricketers, ex-cricketers going and giving. We can't do a show without cricket. There you go. So ex-cricketers,
somewhere it has to come.
Yeah. It's normal. So ex-cricketers going and giving advice to the younger ones. The latest I heard was Prithvi Shaw's interview where he said, "Look, when he was asked to sort of change his technique or whatever, he didn't do anything. He says he stopped practicing. I found that extremely funny. So when he was not getting run, he stopped practicing. He said, I'm not going to practice because if I have bad habits, I'll practice my bad habits, which I thought was very smart of him.
Yeah, sounds counterintuitive, but actually it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. So my point is that, so you don't need to listen to anything that we say. We are saying this. I'm saying this personally because I went through it.
See, work out your own rules.
Exactly. Listen to your body, work out your own rules. That's all we will say. We'll come back with more COVID related stuff because like Bala started off today, there is a lot that has been happening, and I think there is a lot that needs to be spoken about. In our small way, we'll try to speak and say what we saw in the process, including the sort of. So, like one of the things Bala said, we'll probably end the show with that, Bala, right? I think one of the things that we have seen here is that humanity or humaneness is not dead. It is very much alive and kicking. Whatever happens with the pandemic, I believe that inherent humanity is alive and kicking, and we saw it in multiple ways across multiple scenarios. We personally saw it, right, Bala? Any thoughts? Any comments?
Nothing. You said it. Humanity is alive. That's the most reassuring message that we encountered on the way. And just that, at a personal level, I stopped being a journalist because I lost the nose for news. I lost my nose for many things. News was one of those things.
Okay. Yeah. Which is a good thing. As long as you don't lose your nose for food, we are in
unfortunately, I lost nose for food too.
Yeah, now it is back. Although we were still eating. Yeah, that is one more thing. We were eating well, whether we had taste or no smell, we were still eating well. That's us.
Quality no bar, kana bar.
Bar. Okay, on that note, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon with another episode. Thanks, Bala. Thanks for.
I should say, Raj. It was nice to be back on Bits and Beats, back teacher.
Yeah. So we like I said, we are doing this after 3 weeks. So do watch, share, and like. So we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.